The iconic figure, often called the Prince of Darkness, a founding force behind heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne is remembered at the age of 76. Very few names in the history of rock have cast a shadow as long or as influential as his. He was never simply a performer. He became a symbol recognized across the world, embraced by multiple generations. And yet, as time softened the noise around him, the life behind the legend appeared far more subdued than many would expect. Reputation and spectacle gradually faded, giving way to a quieter attention towards something more meaningful, more personal, and unmistakably human. Rather than dwelling on applause or memory, Ozzy's attention drifted towards something quietly intimate, a closing desire that only Sharon could truly understand and help bring to life. It was not a grand request, but a deeply symbolic one, carrying a weight that reshaped his final chapter and offered him a calm he had rarely known. If Ozzy Osbourne's story has ever sparked a smile, a question, or a moment of reflection for you, take a second to support this journey by liking the video and subscribing so you don't miss more remarkable narratives like this. Leave a 1 in the comments if his music or path has ever spoken to you, or a 0 if your view differs. And now, let's step into this moving chapter and discover what genuinely gave Ozzy a sense of peace at the end of his road. Weeks later, the world fell into reflection as Ozzy Osbourne, the voice that had echoed through generations of rock, approached the closing movement of an extraordinary life. What he left behind was immense, a legacy shaped by intensity, creativity, and sounds that permanently altered the direction of music history. In his later months, Ozzy appeared increasingly conscious of how delicate time truly is. After years of navigating Parkinson's disease, his strength had faded, and with that came a clear understanding that every remaining moment carried rare value. Throughout this period, Sharon Osbourne, his partner through triumph and turmoil alike, sensed the gravity of his condition long before it became visible to others. She was far more than a spouse. She was his constant presence, his quiet anchor, and his steady guide through moments the world never saw. With patience and devotion, Sharon focused on one purpose alone, ensuring that Ozzy's final chapter unfolded with dignity, warmth, and a deep sense of peace. The closing chapter of Ozzy Osbourne's life became more than a tale of farewell. It quietly reflected Sharon's devotion and her resolve to protect the memories they had woven together over a lifetime. She endured the quiet pain of seeing her closest companion grow fragile, while also carrying the responsibility of honoring what mattered most to him. In moments heavy with emotion, Sharon revealed remarkable strength and unwavering compassion, remaining beside Ozzy as both moved gently toward what could not be delayed. Though the energy that once fueled his passions had faded, Ozzy spent his final days embraced by family, grounded by Sharon's presence and steady care. This final passage was not simply the end of an iconic story. It stood as a powerful reminder of love, selflessness, and a creative legacy that continues to resonate far beyond its last note. Parkinson's disease follows a relentless course, and over time, it placed growing limits on Ozzy Osbourne's physical strength, most noticeably in his ability to move freely, as Sharon had once reflected in a past conversation. While those around him knew that his health would never return to its former state, witnessing a figure once defined by unstoppable stage presence become physically delicate carried a quiet, emotional weight. What remained unmistakable, however, was the resilience of Ozzy's inner world. As his body slowed, his clarity of thought and distinctive humor endured. Those nearest to him often recalled his quick wit and gentle warmth, his ability to soften difficult moments with laughter and to remind everyone of the spirit that had always set him apart. In the face of limitation, Ozzy continued to offer comfort, lightness, and strength to the people who mattered most. Even as Ozzy Osbourne's physical strength slowly faded, the one element that defined his legend, his voice, remained remarkably intact, untouched by the quiet cruelty of time. Longtime admirers often reflected on how that voice still carried its familiar depth and emotional pull, like an echo that refused to disappear. While his body could no longer mirror the fire of earlier years, his sound retained its power, its feeling, and its unmistakable presence, continuing to draw listeners in with the same magnetic force. In that voice lived the clearest reminder of Ozzy's rare gift, a creative spirit that transcended physical limits and affirmed that true artistry does not fade. It stands as lasting proof that his music and the emotion behind it will continue to resonate in the hearts of generations, well beyond the reach of time itself. It was a quiet contradiction, a body growing frail while the spirit seemed carried by something larger than itself. As Ozzy Osbourne lived with the steady weight of Parkinson's, he leaned into an inner resolve that guided him through his final trials. Those nearest to him sensed a shift in his final weeks. He became calmer, more reflective, as though each passing day invited him to revisit the pages of a life intensely lived. Conversations with Sharon often drifted toward moments that mattered most. The raw beginnings with Black Sabbath, the defining peaks of his solo years, and the imperfect yet enduring bond that shaped their family. Few lives had burned with such intensity. As time grew increasingly valuable, Ozzy chose to spend it looking inward, honoring the journey he had traveled and the imprint that would remain long after his presence faded. Sharon Osbourne later alluded to those intimate exchanges, sharing that Ozzy had confided in her about a handful of deeply personal matters he felt needed resolution before true calm could settle in. His reflections were not simple requests for the end, but quiet expressions of a soul seeking balance, clarity, and release after a life lived at full intensity. Whatever it was, Sharon explained, she had committed herself to seeing it fulfilled. For her, this purpose rose beyond devotion or responsibility. It became a solemn promise to safeguard what held meaning for him. In those final weeks, Sharon was more than a loving partner. She became his grounding force, preserving the peace of his heart, the essence of his music, and the spirit of the legacy he would leave behind. It was neither simple nor merely symbolic. It was an intensely private request, one that Sharon Osbourne carried with a sense of devotion shaped by love, loyalty, and responsibility. As his wife, lifelong partner, and trusted guide, she committed herself to honoring that final intention, regardless of the emotional weight it carried. For admirers across the world, the news of Ozzy Osbourne's passing on July 22nd arrived as a profound moment of reflection, the quiet close of a towering era in rock history. For those nearest to him, however, it held a gentler kind of stillness. Ozzy did not slip away without meaning. He met the final moment with clarity and resolve, leaving behind a life concluded on his own terms, a farewell marked by purpose, individuality, and the unmistakable imprint of who he had always been. In his final days, Sharon Osbourne remained constantly at his side, ensuring that each passing moment aligned with what Ozzy had envisioned. With steady resolve and boundless care, she became more than a partner in name. She was his nearest presence, the one who quietly helped shape the closing chapter he desired. Those days unfolded with a gentle balance of devotion and protection, honoring his intentions while calmly accepting what lay ahead. And when the moment arrived, it did not feel empty or abrupt, but quietly complete. a farewell defined by calm, fulfillment, and the clear sense that Ozzy Osbourne's journey had reached its natural conclusion, exactly as he had hoped. Ozzy Osbourne's final wish carried a quiet emotional weight, yet it was honored in a way that reflected who he truly was, with resolve, intention, and deep reverence for the life he had shaped. And the person who ensured that wish was fulfilled was Sharon Osbourne, the woman who had walked beside him for more than 4 decades. What bound them went far beyond marriage. It was a rare partnership forged through public scrutiny, personal trials, and the constant demands of worldwide fame. Sharon was never simply his spouse. She was his trusted voice, his guiding force, and his unwavering support, remaining at Ozzy's side through every upheaval, especially during the most challenging chapters of his life. Across every rise and fall of their shared path, Sharon Osbourne came to represent steadfast devotion and enduring care. Together, she and Ozzy moved through countless trials, from personal struggles to the unpredictable demands of a life lived under constant attention. Yet it was within those turbulent moments that their bond deepened, revealing a connection shaped by endurance, understanding, and mutual respect. The strength of the Osbourne family stands as a quiet reminder that love is not defined by the absence of difficulty, but by the courage to meet it together and to emerge more connected, more grounded, and more united than be. Sharon Osbourne has long been far more than Ozzy's partner in name. She became his guide, his emotional counterpart, and the steady presence that helped anchor him amid a life often defined by excess and unpredictability. Their connection was shaped not solely by affection, but by loyalty, trust, and a shared resilience that strengthened over time. They first crossed paths in the late 1970s, during the period when Sharon's father, Don Arden, was overseeing Black Sabbath's career. From those early encounters, Sharon's clarity, determination, and commanding presence formed an immediate connection with Ozzy. What began as attraction soon evolved into a deeper alliance grounded in understanding and shared perspective. As the years unfolded, Sharon emerged not only as a devoted partner, but as the guiding force who helped Ozzy endure his most challenging chapters, particularly those shadowed by inner battles and personal hardship. In 1982, Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne formally joined their lives, a moment that would shape both their private world and their shared journey in music. Though the years that followed brought relentless challenges, their connection only deepened, evolving into one of rock culture's most enduring partnerships, a reflection of commitment tested and preserved through time. Side by side, they faced uncertainty, career upheaval, and personal trials, repeatedly drawing strength from one another. Their bond became a stabilizing force within the noise of fame and the intensity of a life lived in the spotlight. Today, the story of Sharon and Ozzy stands as more than a celebrated union in rock history. It remains a lasting symbol of devotion, perseverance, and the quiet power of loyalty through every trial. Throughout Ozzy Osbourne's widely known struggle with addiction, Sharon remained a steady presence, standing beside him as both partner and grounding force. In the most difficult periods, when inner battles threatened to overwhelm everything else, she became the one element that did not waver. Her patience, resilience, and calm determination offered stability during moments that could have easily undone him. Sharon was never simply a supportive spouse. She was a guiding force who helped preserve his direction, his creative drive, and his resolve to continue moving forward, even when the path ahead felt uncertain. In the years that followed, Sharon Osbourne evolved into far more than a supportive partner. She stepped forward as a formidable presence in her own right. From steering Ozzy's solo path to helping bring the trailblazing MTV series The Osbournes to life, she became deeply woven into both their public ventures and private world. The show revealed a candid portrait of their household, capturing not only disorder and humor, but also the quiet closeness that held the family together. Throughout it all, Sharon displayed rare composure and strength, balancing the spotlight's demands while safeguarding what mattered most behind closed doors. No matter how overwhelming the outside noise grew, she ensured that connection, warmth, and shared laughter remained the steady center of their home. The Osbournes opened the door to an entirely new audience. Viewers who may not have grown up with Ozzy's music, yet were drawn in by his wit, sincerity, and the unmistakable chaos that filled each episode. More than casual entertainment, the series revealed a side of Ozzy rarely seen before, one grounded in humor, relatability, and raw humanity. Audiences no longer saw only the mythic Prince of Darkness, but a devoted husband and father whose affection for his family was unmistakable and unguarded. At the heart of the show was the bond between Ozzy, Sharon, and their children, a connection that anchored every moment and gave meaning to the disorder around them. Through shared laughter, misunderstandings, and quiet care, their family dynamic resonated deeply. Even those unfamiliar with Ozzy's music found themselves invested in the Osbournes' imperfect yet sincere story, a reflection of authenticity that transcended fame and left a lasting impression. That connection grew even more profound as Ozzy Osbourne's health slowly began to change. In 2003, he received a Parkinson's diagnosis, a reality he chose to keep private for many years before speaking about it publicly in 2020. The moment marked one of the most demanding chapters of his life, challenging not only his own resolve, but the strength of those closest to him. As time passed, he endured ongoing physical discomfort alongside the emotional weight of accepting circumstances beyond his control. For someone once defined by boundless energy and fearless presence, the adjustment was deeply confronting. Yet throughout every stage, Sharon and their family remained his greatest source of grounding and encouragement, helping him meet each day with resilience, quiet humor, and the same unyielding spirit that had shaped his life for decades. Sharon Osbourne has spoken candidly about the quiet pain of witnessing Ozzy's condition gradually change, carrying much of the emotional and practical responsibility through those demanding years. She was far more than a devoted partner. She became a constant source of steadiness, present whenever Ozzy needed support most. Sharon was also the first to recognize that the era of non-stop touring, roaring crowds, and life defined by the road had reached its natural close. After decades of standing together through every challenge, she understood that their shared path was shifting into a different season, one shaped not by deadlines or stages, but by calm and togetherness. Reflecting on that transition before Ozzy's passing, she shared that after a lifetime of living by schedules, they simply wanted the freedom to live quietly, choose their moments, and let time unfold without pressure. In her conversations with the public, Sharon Osbourne subtly suggested that Ozzy had entrusted her with something profoundly meaningful, a private intention he hoped to see realized before the end. Though she never disclosed what it was, her resolve made one thing unmistakable. She was committed to honoring that promise with care, respect, and quiet grace. Those final weeks became less about farewell and more about intention, about shaping moments that carried depth, closeness, and calm reflection. Sharon focused on keeping loved ones close, wrapping Ozzy in the presence of family and shared memories. Through that devotion, she offered him what mattered most in the end: serenity, unity, and the comfort of knowing that his story, his spirit, and his impact would continue far beyond his final days. The legacy of the figure known as the Prince of Darkness, born John Michael Osbourne on December 3, 1948 in Aston, Birmingham, unfolds as a story of sudden ascent and artistic transformation. Rising from a modest working-class upbringing, Ozzy Osbourne pushed beyond every limitation to become a worldwide symbol, a voice and presence that permanently altered the sound of modern music. His path was never only about recognition or achievement. It reflected endurance, imagination, and the lasting influence of creative expression. In 1968, together with his bandmates in Black Sabbath, Ozzy helped shape a completely new musical language: heavy metal, marked by shadowed intensity, powerful rhythms, and emotionally charged themes. What began as a bold departure from tradition evolved into a global movement, one that redefined musical boundaries and ignited inspiration across generations. Black Sabbath's first album, released in 1970, brought forward enduring songs like Paranoid, Iron Man, and War Pigs. These tracks went far beyond expanding rock's limits. They helped redefine the soundscape of an entire generation. Through crushing guitar tones, eerie melodies, and reflective, thought-provoking lyrics, Black Sabbath mirrored a time shaped by tension, doubt, and resistance. Their music spoke directly to listeners seeking clarity amid disorder, securing the band's role as trailblazers of modern rock culture. Songs such as Paranoid evolved into lasting anthems, while Ozzy Osbourne's commanding voice and unmistakable presence established him as the defining symbol of a bold new genre, a figure whose impact continues to resonate across time. With a remarkable solo journey and signature tracks like Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne affirmed his place among the most influential rock vocalists of all time. The song's instantly recognizable riffs, paired with Ozzy's powerful, unmistakable delivery, turned it into more than a hit. It became a lasting emblem of perseverance and creative fire. Yet his influence extended well beyond the stage. Through the pioneering MTV reality series The Osbournes, Ozzy connected with an entirely new audience, transforming his family into cultural touchstones. The series unveiled a side of him rarely seen, humorous, sincere, and profoundly human, while highlighting the close bond he shared with Sharon and their children. Together, they entered households around the world, securing the Osbournes' place within the broader story of modern pop culture. Despite the many accolades collected over a lifetime, from recognition among music's highest honors to a permanent place in popular culture, Ozzy Osbourne stands apart as something greater than awards could ever define. What he leaves behind reaches far beyond recordings or stages. It lives within the artists he influenced and the countless listeners who found meaning, release, or identity through his sound. Each time his voice resurfaces, each time a new generation stumbles upon his music, that essence reawakens, a living echo of defiance, emotion, and creative force. Ozzy was never simply a figure of his era. He remains an enduring presence, an unrepeatable icon whose imprint continues to glow within the ever-evolving story of rock. For this final chapter, Ozzy Osbourne turned to Sharon, knowing her support was essential. There was only one place capable of offering the kind of farewell that truly reflected who he was: Birmingham, the city of his birth, his upbringing, and his becoming. Birmingham was never simply a hometown. It formed the core of his identity and the origin of everything he would one day represent. This raw, industrial city, widely recognized as the cradle of heavy metal, gave rise to Black Sabbath and to a sound that reshaped rock music forever. To Ozzy, Birmingham was not just where the journey started. It was woven into his spirit, the place where his voice, his vision, and his transformation first emerged and began to echo across the world. In the months leading into July 2025, Birmingham gradually transformed into a living homage to Black Sabbath and its legendary frontman, Ozzy Osbourne. City leaders unveiled the Summer of Sabbath, a sweeping tribute that honored the band's lasting impact on music and culture worldwide. It became more than a scheduled celebration. It felt like a symbolic return home for the figures who had carried Birmingham's name onto the global stage. Across the city, creative displays, performances, and public landmarks emerged, each reflecting the sound and spirit that had shaped generations. In recognizing Black Sabbath, and Ozzy in particular, with its highest distinctions, Birmingham affirmed their enduring influence, securing their legacy not only within the city's identity, but also within the broader story of music history. Among the many honors, the 4 original members of Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, received the Freedom of the City of Birmingham, a rare and deeply symbolic recognition from the place that shaped their sound and spirit. To commemorate their remarkable journey, the city renamed a bridge in their honor, creating a permanent landmark to the legacy they built together. A commemorative bench soon followed, and most striking of all, a towering mural of Ozzy Osbourne appeared on the side of Villa Park Stadium. It quickly became a place of pilgrimage, drawing not only football supporters, but generations of heavy metal fans united in music and reflection. That night stood as more than a public tribute. It was Birmingham's collective expression of pride and gratitude, a powerful acknowledgement of its most iconic sons and the enduring influence Black Sabbath left on the world. This return carried far more meaning than a performance. It unfolded as an emotional gathering that reached beyond sound alone. Admirers from across the globe made their way to Birmingham, transforming the moment into a shared celebration of connection, memory, and lasting influence. One visitor from the United States described the experience as something that could only happen once in a lifetime, capturing the atmosphere that filled the city that night. It was a rare moment when the distance between performer and audience seemed to dissolve. The significance wasn't found solely in hearing familiar songs, but in honoring a bond shaped over decades, a connection forged through shared feeling, collective history, and the enduring presence of Ozzy Osbourne. You could feel the weight of history all around. Those words echoed the shared emotion of everyone gathered for a moment that would never be repeated. Even those who had only followed Ozzy Osbourne's story from a distance sensed that something rare was taking place, an occasion that honored what had been, while quietly acknowledging what would endure. Global media quickly turned its attention to the city, recognizing both the scale and the emotional depth of what was unfolding. With renowned figures from rock and metal joining the stage, a crowd of more than 40,000 devoted supporters filling the stadium, and millions more watching worldwide, the night rose beyond performance. It became a worldwide expression of respect, a tribute to a figure whose influence continues to shape the sound and spirit of music across generations. Even before Ozzy Osbourne's final moment, expressions of respect were already resonating around the globe, reflecting not only the scale of his achievements, but the depth of his impact on rock and metal culture. His presence, both as a creator and as a lasting symbol, had long served as a guiding light for generations of artists who drew inspiration from his path. When news of his passing emerged, fellow musicians, those who had shared stages, hardships, and triumphs alongside him, responded with profound reflection and admiration. Messages of tribute surfaced from every corner of the industry, from lifelong companions to internationally recognized figures, each acknowledging how Ozzy's originality, spirit, and uncompromising authenticity had influenced their own journeys. There is little doubt that the essence of Ozzy Osbourne will continue to endure, a voice, a vision, and a legacy that remains deeply woven into the ongoing story of music. Musicians, collaborators, and voices across the industry fully grasped the scale of Ozzy Osbourne's influence. His journey unfolded over decades, marked by reinvention, intensity, and an honesty that rarely softened, a body of work that helped redefine the sound and spirit of modern music. As his presence on stage and in life gradually reached its close, a quiet wave of reflection moved through the global music world. Artists and listeners alike sensed that the moment signaled more than the loss of a performer. Ozzy Osbourne stood as a defining force, a figure whose creative impact reshaped rock and metal, leaving behind a legacy so deeply rooted that it cannot truly disappear. Sir Elton John, one of Ozzy Osbourne's longtime friends, was among the first to share his feelings publicly when the news emerged. In a moving tribute, Elton reflected on Ozzy as a cherished companion and a fearless pioneer, whose place among rock's most influential figures was unquestionable, a presence that defined an era. His words captured not only admiration, but an understanding of how deeply Ozzy's work had become woven into the history of music. His passing signaled a moment of collective pause, felt not only by family and close friends, but by a worldwide community shaped by his sound and spirit. How do you reflect on Ozzy Osbourne's lasting influence and the mark he left on rock music? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss more stories about the voices that changed music forever.